Bond.
Hello everybody, Noel T Manning II here, and welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. Today I'm going to be flying solo, but solo with a little bit of help. We're going to be diving into one of cinema's most iconic franchises, James Bond. That's right, we've got fast cars, we've got shaken martinis, and enough tuxedos to fill an entire tailor shop. But we're not here just to admire Bond's impeccable fashion sense. Nope. We're going to be talking big bucks and the big bucks that 007 brought to the box office. That's right. Today, we're talking about some of the highest grossing Bond films as adjusted for inflation. Who knew that espionage could be so profitable? So, buckle up in your Aston Martins, pour yourself something shaken and not stirred, and get ready as we journey into one of the biggest franchises in film history. But before we jump in the deep end, let's just appreciate the sheer financial powerhouse that is this franchise. Across 25 films, Bond has raked in over $7 billion worldwide. And if we adjust it for inflation, some of those older films in the franchise are just as potent as Daniel Craig's take on Bond. Sean Connery and Roger Moore, they weren't just chasing bad guys and chasing women. They were also chasing box office glory. So let's take a look at the number one film as it relates to box office gross as adjusted for inflation. That is Skyfall from 2012, $1.15 billion worldwide. So here we are, the biggest Bond moneymaker of them all, Skyfall. This brought Daniel Craig's grittier and more introspective Bond to new heights. He saves MI6, he faces his childhood demons, and in the process, he broke box office records left and right at the time. And let's not forget Adele's theme song that won the Academy Award. Skyfall was the first Bond film to reach $1 billion at the box office. So no wonder Craig decided to stick around for Spectre and No Time to Die. So let's look at number two from a money-making standpoint at the box office as it relates to James Bond. Now remember, these are adjusted box office numbers for inflation. Sean Connery returned in 1965 for Thunderball. He was this suave James Bond, and this was the fourth film in the 007 franchise. And Bond was on a mission to recover stolen nuclear warheads from the villainous Spectre organization. The plot does take him deep into the Bahamas. That's where I lived at one point in my life. Didn't see Bond, but I was there. This film did raise the bar for action sequences with some really spectacular underwater fight scenes that were extraordinary and revolutionary at the time. Thunderball also saw the introduction of more elaborate gadgets and daring stunts than any of the previous Bond films, and really, this was thanks to the genius of the Q branch. This trend of gadgetry and groundbreaking action would also go on to become a defining characteristic of the franchise. The film's combination of the exotic locations, the cutting-edge technology, and the larger-than-life action sequences made this film a box office giant. Thunderball comes in at number 2 when adjusted for inflation from box office numbers for James Bond films. Now let's talk Goldfinger. So Goldfinger from 1964, when you adjust this for box office revenue, $940 million. Goldfinger, if it gave us nothing else, it did give us this.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Well, the box office clearly didn't die because this film was a smash with audiences. Not only did Goldfinger solidify Sean Connery's place as a definitive Bond, but it also gave us the legendary Aston Martin DB5, complete with gadgets of every kind, and every 1960s kid, young and old, wanted this vehicle. And here's a little bit of trivia. The DB5 became so iconic that it made appearances in several other Bond films. Number 4 on our list of James Bond films, and we're talking about box office gross as adjusted for inflation, it is Spectre from 2015. When adjusted for inflation, $920 million is what Spectre brought in at the box office. This was Daniel Craig's fourth outing as Bond, and it had him up against a secret organization with layers deeper than a Russian nesting doll. This film was complete with some classic Bond tropes, a villain with a fluffy white cat, exotic locations, and of course, high-octane action. But here's a kicker. Daniel Craig injured his knee while shooting the film, and he still powered through like he was Tom Cruise or something. So apparently, even an injury couldn't stop him from reaching the nearly $1 billion mark. And number 5 in the box office take when you're talking about James Bond films, adjusted for inflation, $847 million, Live and Let Die from 1973. This is the first James Bond film I ever remember watching, and I'm still drawn to those Roger Moore films for some reason. I guess it's because it's the first time I saw Bond on screen. And this film also features one of my favorite theme songs for any James Bond film. Roger Moore makes his debut as a smooth-talking 007, and boy, does he make an entrance. Not only does Moore take on a voodoo-inspired villain, but Paul McCartney and Wings' incredible theme song really did hit all the right notes. And here's a little bit of trivia. Moore once admitted that his favorite part of being Bond was kissing all the leading ladies. Meanwhile, audiences kissed millions of dollars goodbye at the box office just so they could spend a little time chasing the chaos that was James Bond in Live and Let Die. So here's what we've learned so far about James Bond. Whether it's battling voodoo priests, underwater villains, or mysteries of his own past, James Bond knows how to bring in the moolah. From Roger Moore's charismatic debut to Daniel Craig's brooding reinvention of the character, Bond has proven that this franchise can evolve while still making box office on the side. Each Bond may have a different style, but one thing is for certain, the financial formula remained solid. And honestly, who really needs the high-tech gadgets when you've got $7 billion worth of box office receipts? And there's your deep dive into this tuxedo-wearing, world-saving, wallet-busting adventure that is James Bond at the box office. So thanks for joining us right here on Meet Me at the Movies. I really invite you to stick around after this quick break. We're going to spin some of the best James Bond theme songs right after this quick intermission. Stick around.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick?
Hi, I'm Nikki Bliss Carroll, your host for Cleveland Connections, the show that explores what's happening at Cleveland Community College. Join us as we sit down with members of faculty and staff to discuss programs of study, upcoming events, and other exciting campus news. We'll have a new show for you each month on C19 TV, or you can stream us online at c19.tv. Tune in and connect with Cleveland Community College on Cleveland Connections.
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch
Hello,
a
welcome back to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T. Manning II here. Appreciate you spending time with us. In the first half of this show, we were talking about James Bond films and the box office take on those films as it related to adjusting for inflation. So that's a mouthful right there. Well, this is a James Bond infused special, and for this segment of the show, you know what? We're gonna make some sound waves. We're gonna turn up the volume and take a look and maybe listen to some of the James Bond themes and how they did from a sales standpoint. That's right, the theme songs. How much money did they make if we adjusted it for inflation? So that's the twist, adjusting the sales for inflation. So how do we do it? Well, we had 27 plus sources, including Billboard, Music Week, and the U.S. inflation calculator. So we are going to give you this financial breakdown of these tunes. I'm also going to sprinkle in maybe a little bit of trivia because, hey, that's what Bond is all about, giving you some intel. So let's dive in to the money-making films as it relates to theme songs for James Bond at the box office.
When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and
So
let
number one on our
live.
list, Live and Let Die by Paul McCartney and Wings from 1973. Sir Paul McCartney did team up with Wings. They delivered this rock anthem that had audiences standing on the edge of their seats, and not just because of the explosions. Nope, it was much more. Originally earning about $1 million in sales, this skyrockets to $7 million when it's adjusted for inflation. And it's not just a Bond theme. This is one of those that's been covered by tons of artists, including everybody from Guns N' Roses to Billy Joel to Ray Conniff. That's right, Ray Conniff. Did you know this? A little bit of trivia for this. This was the first James Bond theme that was nominated for an Academy Award. And this tune is still making audiences rock in their seats when McCartney performs this live. He's been taking this track on the road and living it for over 50 years now. Once again, adjusted sales for this song, $7 million and counting.
In which we live in makes you give and cry. So live and let die. Live and let die.
So number two, the number two theme song when you're talking about money-making chart toppers, Skyfall from Adele in 2012. When this dropped in 2012, it really was an instant classic. It sold 1.1 million units and it won an Oscar for the best original song. And one of the things I really love about this is I think that this track has a way of capturing the essence of Bond. It's brooding, it's emotional, and it is epic. Adjusted for inflation, Adele pulls in $1.8 million for this track, and here's a little bit of a fun fact here. She recorded the vocals for this tune in 10 minutes. Apparently, even Bond songs don't need to break a sweat when Adele is at the mic. Here's another little bit of trivia about this song. The orchestration was so secret that the sheet music was locked away in a safe in between recording sessions. Clearly, MI6 isn't the only one with top secret files, and Adele's voice can probably crack a safe better than any Bond gadget.
We will stand tall, face it all. Together, let the sky fall. When it crumbles, we will stand tall, face it all. Together, let sky fall. Let the sky fall.
So let's talk synths, rock legends, and Bond's edgier side when you're talking about theme songs. We've got Duran Duran in at number 3, and this synth-heavy anthem of You to a Kill wasn't just a song that slayed the charts in 1985. It was also the only Bond film to hit number 1 on the U.S. charts, and that blows me away. I couldn't believe it. I had to go back and look at the research multiple times, and yep, it's true. The only James Bond theme song to hit number 1 at the U.S. box office. It originally sold about $500,000 worth of sales. Now, if you adjust it for inflation, $1.3 million. And also, let's not forget that this epic music video where Duran Duran bassist John Taylor actually got to play James Bond for a few seconds. And a little bit of trivia, check this out. The song came to life after the bassist I just mentioned, John Taylor, jokingly was asking the Bond producer why didn't they ever get a decent rock band to do a James Bond song. Yeah, bold move, but for Taylor, you know what, it paid off, and for Duran Duran, it definitely paid off, as well as fans worldwide. I guess you could say that the only thing smoother than Duran Duran's synths, well, their ability to talk themselves into a Bond movie.
A chance to die. Can we dance into the fire? That fatal kiss is all we need. Dance into the fire to fatal sounds of broken dreams. Dance into the fire. That fatal kiss is all we need. Dance into the fire when all we see is the view to a kill.
At number 4, Writings on the Wall by Sam Smith from 2015. From the film Spectre, Writings on the Wall brought in $1.16 million in today's dollars, and some fans might argue that this is really not a top-tier Bond song. But in sales and the Oscars, well, they speak for themselves. Smith's falsetto is really practically a weapon in its own right. And while he didn't quite match what Adele did, he did record this entire track in 20 minutes. She had 10 minutes, so yeah, still 20 minutes to record the track. Not too shabby. It seems like Bond themes are like spy missions. Sometimes speed is of the essence.
How do I breathe when you're not here? I'm suffocating. I wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all up? How do I live? How do I breathe when you're not here? I'm suffocating. I wanna feel love run through my blood. Tell me, is this where I give it all up? For you, I have to risk it all. 'Cause the writing's on the wall.
So let's talk about some rock anthems and some pop icons. Well, Chris Cornell from 2006 created the song You Know My Name. Now, this was a rock-fueled anthem for Casino Royale. It takes the 5th spot with $576,000 in adjusted sales. I really think that this song is perfectly matched with Daniel Craig's grittier Bond reboot and Cornell's powerful voice. It did give this song and this Bond really a rougher edge. And here's something that's interesting. Cornell is the only true American male singer to perform a Bond song. Wow, Bond's influence knows no borders.
Just a spin of the wheel. On yourself because no one else will save you. Love will betray you, and I will replace you. You can't deny the prize, it may never fulfill you.
Number 6, Madonna. 2002, this futuristic techno-heavy Bond theme for Die Another Day really didn't pull any punches. Originally generating about $290,000, today it adjusts at $457,000. The song may have divided some fans, but let's be real here. It is Madonna. Madonna singing a Bond song. I love it. This song made history by being the highest grossing Bond theme ever at the time in relation to single sales. Plus, Madonna also made a cameo in the film as a fencing instructor. So talk about multitasking. Madonna could do it all. So let's talk about the power of collaboration and timeless voices. In at number 7, Another Way to Die by Alicia Keys and Jack White from 2008. These two, really, they were a dynamic duo, and they brought this theme song for Quantum of Solace to life. Now, while it didn't quite reach the sales of other Bond films, it still hit $446,000 in adjusted sales, and it brought this kind of bluesy rock twist to Bond, where we normally had this kind of orchestral vibe. I think it really worked. And here's something else, a little bit of trivia. It was the first ever duet in Bond theme history.
Another bill from a killer, turn a thriller to a tragedy. Yeah, door left open, a woman walking by, a drop in the water, a look in the eye, a phone on the table, a man on your side, or someone that you think that you can trust. It's just another way to die.
In at number 8, GoldenEye by Tina Turner from 1995. When Tina Turner lent her iconic voice to GoldenEye, it wasn't just a song, it really was a moment. Originally earning $190,000, it now adjusts for $369,000 in total sales. And honestly, who could say no to that golden voice of Tina Turner? Here's a little bit of trivia. This tune was originally written by U2's Bono and The Edge. So think about this, between Tina's vocals and U2's writing, this song practically had a license to thrill.
I found his weakness. GoldenEye, he'll do what I please. GoldenEye, no time for sweetness.
So let's get a little moody, dark, and maybe classic. Tomorrow Never Dies by Sheryl Crow in 1997 was number 9 on the list, and she had her moment in the sun, selling 155,664 units, now valued at $360,000. Now, Crow's smoky vocals added to this moody, sultry side of Pierce Brosnan's era of Bond. Crow wasn't the first choice here. Here's something interesting. She wasn't the first choice to record the theme song. It was actually K.D. Lang, and she recorded the song for the film, but Crow's version got the green light. Sheryl Crow from Tomorrow Never Dies from 1997 comes in at number 9. Number 10 for Bond theme songs, bringing in the bucks, The World Is Not Enough by Garbage, 1999. They brought their alt-rock sound to this, making it one of the grittiest Bond theme songs ever. It sold 96,338 units, and that's adjusted to $218,000 in sales. It's really a dark, atmospheric track that perfectly matched the slick, sometimes sinister feel of Brosnan's Bond. Shirley Manson, the lead singer of Garbage, said she always imagined herself as a Bond villain, and with a voice like that, she could have pulled it off. So before we wrap, I want to give you a bonus track. This comes from Billie Eilish, the queen of moody pop. She gave James Bond a sound makeover with her theme for No Time to Die in 2021. At just 18 years old, she became the youngest artist ever to tackle an iconic Bond franchise theme, and she did not disappoint. The song debuted at number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, and it soared to number 1 on the UK singles chart. With its haunting vocals and brooding orchestration, this was recorded in the most Bond-like of places, a tour bus. Well, No Time to Die set a new record for Bond themes, racking up 90,000 chart sales and a whopping 10.6 million streams in its first week. Not too bad for a song that almost feels like it could have been a Bond villain's final monologue. Little bit of trivia here. Billie worked very closely with her brother on this song, and they crafted this together in just a few days. And rumor has it that even Hans Zimmer, the soundtrack legend, gave his seal of approval by adding this Bond-worthy orchestration to the song No Time to Die. Looks like James Bond isn't the only one with license to kill. Eilish's theme definitely slays.
There's no time to die.
So there you have it. Some of Bond's best theme songs is brought to you from the Meet Me in the Movies R&D team and Billboard Music Week and the U.S. Inflation Calculator. From Paul McCartney's rock classic to Adele's powerful ballad, these tunes have become just as legendary as the films themselves. Whether it's rock legends, pop icons, or powerhouse vocals, Bond theme songs are as iconic as the man himself. So keep those playlists ready, because you never know when you're going to need a little 007 to get you through the day. For the entire cast and crew of Meet Me at the Movies and C19 TV, I'm Noel T. Manning II, and for this week, that is a wrap.
Many films to view until we meet again. Next time we see you, we'll gladly fill you in. We'll tell about the happy and the sad ones. We'll talk about the good ones and the bad ones. Many films to view till we meet again.